So starting from the north side of the property, this is it's the neighbor, kind of upslope. The school, a couple blocks or a block away or so, runs off. It's 2 acres with a goat on it, and there's some goats and chickens back here. This all runs off down to right about here. I plan on cutting a swale in, small swale drainage, similar to this one right here, which from about there to the edge it's about 3 feet across, 1.5 feet deep, with that's basically down to the clay layer. I use topsoil for Hugel-Culture beds, and it's filled in with, it's got that 4-inch weeping tile that can directly absorb roof runoff, or that can go to the pond up there, but that will run off naturally to and fill this trench here, and there's the overflow sill, level sill, so it should keep clear. I'll do that later. But and then that's an overflow. It runs downhill slightly and off of away from into trees. It runs off into trees. So this is basically, this is the high point. Well, it's flat. It's about as dead level as I could get it in this swale. And this is kind of effectively a chinampa, a keyhole-Chinampa. That'll get you a better view on. Some avocados sprouting out of compost in there, and I plan on eventually tying the pond in to that path with a mulch path into the middle. This pond filled up the other night. I think it's got a little over, it's probably holds 1,000 gallons. It's about 3.5 feet deep. It's dug to 4 feet, but 6 inches or so filled in with glee and organic matter from the ducks and composted greens. This is filling from the drainage basin that at the bottom of was effectively a big filter that runs down. From here there's a little catchment basin. I can check on things from there. The overflow of the pond seeps in through that monk, flows down underneath the path that I'll walk through. I tore apart the bird pen. They've got just a makeshift shelter right now. They seem to be doing just fine, so they never nest in it anyway. And here's the Hugel beds I've built. So in between these Hugel beds, there's nothing there. That's just a path. But each one of these pathways subsequently has a diversion off the French drain that has to fill up before the water will continue. It's downhill, so that fills up. It's like a side basin, and each one of these that's probably 150. This one's probably 200 gallons, I'm estimating. This one here is probably 75 to 100, and it's altogether I think it's well over 500 gallons in this whole drainage basin area that surrounds these Hugel-Culture beds. That's kind of my northwest Chinampa. This I'd eventually turn into a greenhouse, ideally, I think, a big greenhouse. So the French drain continues to run down and runs down to where that artichoke is, before the little plastic table. Between the pavement and the plastic table is the filter and drainage basin, or there's just thousands of gallons, about 4,000 gallons of gravel and various size sand and pea gravel to 1.5 inch gravel. And then there's a little side Hugel-Culture bed, but that's the basic idea. And then any overflow that comes from the house goes into this drainage bed, so I can also pump that back up to the pond, or ideally I wish I'd dug a pond here, but anyway, that all runs out to the street, as just as same as before.